Hey everyone, welcome to the Permission to Hustle podcast. It's Audrey here. Today I want to talk about refreshing. Refresh. You know, right now it's April and I hate kind of time stamping a month or a date or a day when I do these podcasts. But I feel like in order to really put this podcast in perspective, I want to make sure you guys know it is April right now. If you're listening to this in June or September or November or February, I still want you to do this, but because it's April and I have spring cleaning on mind and it's kind of top of mind right now, especially in my personal life with 5 kids and so much stuff, it's crazy. But refreshing is something that I feel like not only you should do personally, but also professionally too. It really is something that can genuinely kind of change your business. You know, I feel like a lot of us go. We don't stop. We kind of put our heads down and we really just go at full steam. But many times what we could do and should be doing is just taking a little bit of time to do small refreshes. So as you know, we're kind of looking at spring as a spring cleaning, I kind of want you to do that same thing with your business. I want you to take that mindset and shift it to your business. If you're an entrepreneur, if you work in corporate America, if you're a stay-at-home mom and you have systems in place at home, it's time to refresh. Take the time to refresh. Even if you work as a teacher or you work as a waitress or you work as I don't know what you do. Whatever you do, you can refresh your business. You can take little things that you do and you can refresh them to really just kind of give your business, your profession, not only a boost, but just like kind of like leveling up. You're putting yourself in a higher gear, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I want to share just some tips that you could be doing today to really help kind of just refresh your business. And I want to kick off with one that, it's something that I feel like you should do every 3 months. I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't do this enough, but I think that you should really try to refresh your office. If you have an office in a building, not at home, if you have an office at home, if you have a little nook on your kitchen counter that you use as your office space. I remember when I first started my blogging little business, my office was genuinely like one spot on the couch. That was where I worked every single day. We had a brown plush couch. And I remember I always sat, if you were facing it, looking right at the couch, I always was on the far right. And it was just my space. It was my spot. And so what I'm telling you right now is wherever your spot is, if you're lucky enough to have an office, refresh it. Add something in. Maybe it's a fresh flower. Maybe if you do have a cute little spot on the couch, you get yourself a nice cozy pillow or blanket. Whatever it is that you use as a workspace, refresh it. Maybe it's as simple as refreshing some files, going through things, getting rid of things you don't need. Maybe it's just looking at books on your shelves and saying, you know what? I don't read these. I don't need them. I'm going to donate them. So really take the time to look at your space where you work and refresh it. Bring something in that's going to make you happy. I said maybe bring some flowers in. Maybe you're going to bring some really great quotes in. Maybe you're going to refresh your vision board if you do vision boards. Maybe you can refresh if you have calendars or, I use a whiteboard for my children in terms of kind of their chores, but I know a lot of people use whiteboards in their offices. Maybe erase it and refresh it. Get some new color markers. Little things like that, believe it or not, as we all know, can really make a big difference. And that simple thing can really kind of just change your mindset. And really that's what it's all about. It's really taking the time to kind of change and give you a little uplift, right? Another way that I'd love you to try to refresh is go to your bio and refresh it. And this is what I'm saying, and I thought of a teacher because I just was on my son's school website, and each teacher has their own little spot. You kind of read a little bit about them. Refresh your bio. For somebody like me, I have to continuously refresh my bio simply because it's the business that I'm in. I like to be, make sure other brands know projects I've worked on, or maybe if I have, some new social media numbers, I can add them in. But whatever it is that you do, if you're corporate America, make sure that your bio is up to date. Refresh it. Maybe you're going to add something in. It's funny, even maybe like a month ago, I sent a bio out and the woman emailed me back and she said, "Oh, I didn't realize that you had a daughter. I hadn't worked with her in 5 or 6 years." And I went to the bio to read it. And I think she had referenced, "Oh, I didn't know you had a daughter 3 years ago." And I went to my bio and I was like, oh my God, does it still say the Victoria's 3 in my bio? And all the ages of my kids in my bio were wrong. So what I decided to do was just take out the ages, because it just, obviously I wasn't keeping on top of it, and really doesn't matter, I guess, at the end of the day, how old they are in my bio. But little things like that, maybe you moved and you need to say, hey, now I'm living in this state, or now I'm living in this city. Maybe it's as simple as you got an award, you want to add that in. Take the time to refresh your bio. And at the same time, while we're talking about it, when was the last time you refreshed your headshot? I remember, and this is an honest to God story, but I had sent out my headshot to somebody, and I remember they said to me, wow, this looks nothing like you anymore. And it was such a just a hit beneath the belt, truly a blow. But at the same time, it was taken 8 years ago. So I definitely knew that I needed a headshot refresh. It was when I first started blogging. I think I was 28, and I was still sending it out when I was like 36. I mean, honest to God, like I had no wrinkle. I mean, it was a great photo. I was 20. It was my 20s. So really make sure you take the time to just like refresh your bio. It's important to do. It's not something that you necessarily need to do maybe every year, but I would suggest maybe every 3 or 4 years, you definitely make sure you're updating it. I think that little things like that, especially in business, can go a really long way to make sure you have things about you that are definitely current. Another refresh is something that I just did that I just am really excited that I did it. And I feel like in this day and age with Google being Google, a lot of us use Google Documents, right? We always will kind of go there. You can share documents there. You can create things for your own family. I have a calendar in there too that my husband loves to use. I don't love using digital calendars, but my husband does. And I recently just went in and I refreshed all my Google Documents. I deleted things that I just didn't need. I took myself off shared documents with people for collaborations that I wasn't doing anymore. And I really took the time. It was just on a weekend. It took me maybe an hour to do it, but I went through and I just refreshed the entire thing. I didn't want to be on, I didn't want to have documents in there that I genuinely didn't need and didn't use, or I was done using. So I was able just to get rid of them. And then I was able to archive things that I really did want to keep or star things. And I didn't know that I had them in there that were really helpful. Old contact lists. I used to do a ton of events with Vera for Getting Gorgeous. We had spreadsheets of bloggers. I archived all those things because I didn't realize I still had them. So make sure you take the time. Again, we're looking to refresh, kind of do a little spring cleaning. That's a great way to do it. Another thing, refresh your 2019 goals. Where are you with the goals that you put out in January? Right now, and again, that's why I hate to timestamp things, but if this is 2020, if this is 2021, and you're still listening to this podcast, amen to that. But really take the time to look at your 2019 goals, or your goals you set for yourself in the last few months. Where are you with them? Are you comfortable? Are you happy? Are you not near them? Have you completely, blown by them and you can't believe it? Make sure you take the time to do that. It's something that I don't think we do enough. And I feel like it's something that you probably should do every month. Set some monthly goals at the end of the month. Where are you? Did you hit them? Why didn't you hit them? Why did you hit them? How could you hit them even better next month? But really take the time to refresh those goals. Another thing too, and I'm going to just throw a few more out because I do feel like these are just easy ways that you can refresh. Go to Facebook and refresh the Facebook groups that you're in. Do not leave Permission to Hustle. We love you over in Permission to Hustle. But I can't tell you how many Facebook groups that I'm in that I never wanted to be in, or that I maybe allowed, myself to go in just because I was going down the rabbit hole one night, and I just don't utilize them. So what is the point of being in a Facebook group that you do not utilize? So go through and refresh the Facebook groups that you're in. Do you love them? Do you not love them? The best thing about Facebook is that you have the opportunity to turn something on and turn something off. Friend somebody or unfriend somebody. Join a group and then you can unjoin the group. So really take the time to go through and see what it is that you love and what it is that you don't love. So make sure you do that, because it really does. It kind of is that resetting the mindset. When I went back on my Facebook after doing that, it was like a whole new stream. And that for me was like the line in the sand for me, is every time I log on to Facebook, I felt like my stream was just full of content from Facebook groups that I never remembered joining, or maybe somebody just put me in a couple years ago and I was still in it. And when I kind of decluttered it out, It just looks so much cleaner to me and just simpler. So I love that. Two more I'm going to share with you guys. Refresh your vision board. And I feel like this should just be a podcast all within itself. I know we've done a video on this. It's really tough to do, I guess, a podcast on a vision board because it is a vision, a visual. But I will say this. I have done vision boards my entire adult life. I started doing them when I was in college, maybe even high school. And I love it. I love having things in my space that inspire and motivate me and really help me drive and become determined and devoted and filled with passion to go after them. If you don't do a vision board, I highly suggest you start one. Just find things that motivate you. If you do a vision board, refresh it. That's part of the process of a vision board. When things have come to fruition, you can replace them with other things that maybe inspire or motivate you. And it's different for everybody, and it's not a one size fits all. You might have a smaller vision board or a large. I have a huge bulletin board in my office that my husband made me years ago for my vision board. And just genuinely, I put things up there that constantly inspire and motivate me. And I try to rotate things. I have photos of people that have passed away, my grandmothers that always believed in me. And I love walking into my office and seeing my Nana, a picture of her. Oh my God, I might start crying, but her eyes looking right back at me because I feel like she's there with me. Whatever you put on your vision board is very personal to you. Make sure you're constantly refreshing it. And then the last little refresh bit of advice I want to give you is refresh your journals. I know that a lot of us out there love to journal, whether you're doing a gratitude journal and every night before bed, you write down like 4 or 5 things that you're grateful for that day. Many of us do straight journaling where you're just kind of writing down your thoughts. Maybe it's not every night, but it's maybe once a month, but it's really a time to just get your thoughts on paper. A lot of us use journals as ways to help us kind of define our goals and move forward. Whatever it is, refresh your journal. Maybe you got to go through it. Maybe you're going to tear out some pages that aren't being used. Maybe you want to get a new journal. Maybe you want to kick off, have this day be the day that you start a journal. Or that, you say, I'm going to refresh my journal. I'm going to get a new notebook and I'm going to start from here and go forward. The beautiful thing about life is that every day we get a brand new opportunity to start anew. Every day is a new chapter. Every day is a new beginning. We do not have to be handcuffed to yesterday. So that's the beauty. But I want you to really hopefully take these refresh ideas, these refresh strategies, and hopefully one spoke to you, or maybe all of them did. I have to be honest, I've done all of them, and I think we had like 30 of them kind of jotted down. And I do feel like it's just a really great way, in the spring especially, but any season, to refresh your business, to refresh your mind, refresh that mindset, because a lot of us need that. And it's something that is a very normal, just very common strategy to do. So that's it, guys. Thanks for listening to our Permission to Hustle podcast. We have 60 other episodes, so make sure you head on over and listen to them. Make sure you join our Permission to Hustle Facebook group. Follow us over on Instagram, Permission to Hustle. And remember, always give yourself permission to hustle.